Principles of physical activity. Overload principle. Overloading will be achieved by following the acronym FITT. F. For frequency. Frequency, increasing the number of times you train per week. I for intensity. Intensity, increasing the problem of the exercise, for instance, running at 12 km per hour rather than 10, or increasing the load you're squatting with. T for time. Time, increasing the length of your training time for every session, for instance, cycling for 45 minutes rather than 30. T for type. Type, increase the intensity of the training. For instance, progress from walking to running. Principle of progression. To ensure that the results will still improve over time, the adapted workload should be continually increased. A gradual and systematic increase within the workload over a period of time will lead to improvement in fitness without risk of injury. If overload occurs and increase rapidly, it may lead to injury or muscle damage. If increased slowly, improvement is unlikely. For instance, the athlete who exercises vigorously only on weekends violates the principle of progression and may not see obvious fitness gains. The principle of progression also stresses the requirement for correct rest and recovery. Continual stress on the body and constant overload will lead to exhaustion and injury. You ought not to train hard all the time, as you'll risk overtraining and a decrease in fitness. Principle of specificity. We've all heard the phrase, practice makes perfect. Well, this is often the principle of specificity in action. This principle simply states that exercising a specific piece or component of the body primarily develops that part. The principle of specificity implies that to become better at a selected exercise or skill, you need to perform that exercise or skill. For example, a cyclist should be trained in cycling and a runner should be trained in running. Use the acceptable sort of exercise that directly improves your target muscles. Principle of reversibility. Development of muscles will happen if regular movement and execution are completed. If activity ceases, it will be reversed. This shows that benefits and changes achieved from overload will last as long as training is continuous. On the flip side, this also implies that the detraining effect will be reversed once training is resumed. Extended rest periods reduce fitness and therefore the physiological effects diminish over time, which throws the body back to its pre-training condition. Note, the effect of training will be lost if the training is discontinued. The FITT. Principle of physical activity. Understanding the FITT principle helps you create a workout plan which will be beneficial in reaching your fitness goals. FITT stands for frequency, intensity, time, and type of exercise. These are the 4 elements you would like to believe to make workouts that suit your goals and fitness level. Learn how the FITT principle works. Frequency is number of meeting in a week. Intensity is effort level of the exercise. Time is period covered in an exercise session. Type is kind of activity. Frequency. The first thing to identify in the workout plan is frequency. How often you exercise. Your frequency often depends on a spread of things, including the sort of workout you're doing, how hard you're working, your fitness level, and your exercise goals. 3 to 5 times a week is a safe frequency for each component of health-related physical fitness. American College of Sports Medicine sets exercise guidelines to provide a place to start figuring out how often to work out. For cardio, include your goal. Guidelines recommend moderate exercise 5 or more days every week or intense cardio 3 days every week to improve your health. If your goal is to lose weight, you'll need to work often up to 6 or more days a week. For strength training, the suggested frequency is 2 to 3 non-consecutive days a week. It should be 1 to 2 days between sessions. If you are doing a split routine, like upper body at some point and lower body subsequent, your workouts are going to be more frequent than total body workouts. Intensity. Intensity refers to how hard you work during the physical activity period. Intensity is often measured in several ways, counting on the health-related component. For instance, monitoring pulse rate is a technique to measure intensity during aerobic endurance activities, but gives no indication of intensity during flexibility activities. For cardio, you will usually monitor intensity by heart rate or pulse rate. The recommendation for steady-state workouts is at a moderate intensity, and for interval training it should be done at a high intensity for a shorter period of time. For strength training, monitoring the intensity of strength training involves a special set of parameters. The intensity depends on the workload you are doing, the amount of weight you lift, and the number of repetitions and sets. You can change the intensity based on your goals. For a beginner, use a lighter weight and do fewer sets with high repetitions, 2 or 3 sets of 12 to 20 repetitions. If your goal is to develop muscle, do a higher number of sets with a moderate amount of repetitions, 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps each. If you want to create strength, use heavy weights to try to do more sets with fewer repetitions. For example, 5 sets of 3 repetitions each. How to get your target heart rate. Get the maximum heart rate. 220 minus your age is equal to your MHR. Determine the heart rate reserve. MHR minus your resting heart rate is equal to your heart rate reserve. Take 60% and 80% of the heart rate reserve. A 60% multiplied by your heart rate reserve is equal to B. 80% multiplied by your heart rate reserve is equal to Add each heart rate reserve to resting heart rate to obtain the target heart rate, THR, range. A 60% heart rate reserve, add to resting heart rate, is equal to beats per minute, target heart rate. B 80% heart rate reserve, add to resting heart rate, is equal to beats per minute, target heart rate. Note: your resting pulse rate is the number of times your heart beats per minute after you are at rest. Time. Time is the length of the physical activity. Considering the other aspects of the FITT principle, time differs depending on the health-related fitness component targeted. For cardio, the suggested cardio exercise is 30 to 60 minutes, but the duration of your workout depends on the type of exercise. For a beginner, you might start with a workout of 15 to 20 minutes. If you're doing steady-state cardio, like going for a run, you may exercise for 30 minutes to an hour. If you're doing interval training and working at a high intensity, your workout should be shorter, around 20 minutes to half hour. For strength training, how long you lift weights, it depends on the type of workout you're doing and on your schedule. For total body workout, you may take up to an hour, but a split routine may take less time because you're working for fewer muscle groups. Type. Type refers to the definite physical activity selected to improve a component of health-related fitness. For example, a person who wants to improve the arm strength should exercise the triceps and biceps, while an individual who wants to improve aerobic endurance needs to execute some other aerobically challenging activities such as jogging, running, swimming. For cardio, cardio is changeable since any activity that makes your heart rate up counts. Dancing, running, walking, jogging, and cycling are some of the wide variety of activities you may choose. Having more than one cardio activity helps reduce boredom. For strength training, strength training workouts can also offer a variety of exercises. It includes any exercise using resistance like dumbbells, barbells, machines, and many others to work your muscles. You may also use your body as resistance tool. You may change the type of your strength workout depending on your goal. How to use the FITT principle in your workout. The FITT principle provides guides on how to control your program and get favorable results. To avoid boredom, injuries, and weight loss plateaus, this principle will help you figure out how to alter workout types, time, intensity, and activities. For example, walking 3 times a week for 30 minutes at a moderate pace might be a great help for a beginner. Your body adjusts to these workouts and several things may happen after a few weeks, such as burn fewer calories, weight loss, boredom sets in.